A man aboard a Lufthansa flight from Frankfurt to Belgrade has been detained after he reportedly tried to open up the door of the airplane mid-flight. Jose, we don't really know if this guy had one of those crazy airplane freakouts or if this was actually an attempted act of terrorism. But here's what we know so far. About halfway into the flight, while they were over Austria, he started to scream that he wanted to join Allah. He wanted to join Allah. At that point, he tried to open up the door of the airplane, which would have brought the whole thing down. Luckily, you can't open those doors in flight. After he couldn't do that, he ran over to the cockpit, started banging on the cockpit, and demanded that he get let in, or else he's going to bring the plane down. That must have been very scary for a lot of people. Luckily, he didn't get inside of the cockpit. It is locked, but what happened was, apparently there was a Serbian handball team. Handball is kind of like soccer, but you throw it with your hands, small goals. They brought him down and they detained him for the rest of the flight. Everyone landed safe. Nothing got any more out of hand than it already did. But there's a lot of mystery here. We don't really know his motives, what this whole thing was about. He's being detained right now in Serbia, being asked all sorts of questions. What do you think?
I mean, we can only speculate, but there are reports that claim that the passenger was already nervous before, getting on the flight. But we have to understand that we live at a time that everyone is very sensitive at any type of scare. Yeah. Either if, like you said, there's a mental instability that brought this to happen, yeah, or there is an organized terror act behind it. We will know in the future and we'll report. But it makes me think about, we could go with the terrorism, or we could think that there's a problem with mental health. In the past, we've seen, even not too long ago, we had this German pilot, Andreas Lubitz, piloting for German Wings, a subsidiary of Lufthansa, that decided just to crash the plane against a mountain, in a mountain, yeah, after he was advised not to fly or to find treatment. So at the moment, because of this global scares, I think it's necessary, but at the same time, it's going to be hard that everybody's vigilant at the behavior of people in the airplanes, at airports, and major ports. The reality is that people are scared.
Yeah, and here's what we know so far. The man was Jordanian, but had a U.S. passport. Okay. Why he was traveling from Germany to Serbia, we don't know. What his motives were, again, we don't know. The Serbian police haven't really released very much information on this man so far, but I'm sure when they get to the bottom of it, they'll let us all know. But all we can say now for sure is that everyone is safe, and that's good. And thanks to the flight crew and these passengers on board, this situation didn't get much, much worse than it already did.